Hello friends, it is so good to see you today. I hope that you're having a wonderful time. Welcome to the first video for my channel of Insomnia Snail here on YouTube. Today I would like to talk to you about the top 5 things that I have learned about vendor booths before I've actually even done a craft fair. Now, don't worry, I'm going to update this video with a new one once I actually do a craft fair. And I have applied for my first one, so here's hoping. Tip number 1. This is specifically for outdoor shows. If you are doing one, a pop-up canopy is a must-have. I'm not talking about just any kind of pop-up canopy, because if you look at reviews of certain ones, you can see pictures of if there's even just a little bit of rain, some of them are gonna just totally collapse. And you don't want that to happen when you're in the middle of your craft show and have all of your products just get ruined. You worked really hard on them. You don't want them to end up destroyed because your pop-up canopy was not reliable enough. Well, what you need to look for with your pop-up canopies is, of course, you want a good quality one that will stand up to a bit of rain and a little bit of wind, but something that's going to help with the wind especially is going to be the weights that you would need for on your canopy. Some shows even require that you have weights on each leg of your pop-up tent. Nice thing to have, which I think is really cool, is to have walls on your tent. So you could have maybe the back wall on your tent so that way it looks more like a shop where you can't see through to the vendor behind you, because sometimes you'll be set up where you're here and then the next vendor is right behind you and you're both facing different ways. So you want to make sure that people aren't looking through your booth, they are looking at your booth and what you have to offer. And then you could also have up the sidewalls if you want to make it look like more of a cohesive shop. So, you know, it's a pop-up shop, it's a craft fair, they want to see your stuff, you want to make it so that you have that little bit of extra attention on just your things. There are a lot of different brands out there. One that I have heard really good things about is QuickTent. This is in no way sponsored, but when I start doing outdoor shows, I will most likely be using a QuickTent because that is a decent price for getting started, and I have heard great things about them. Tip number 2, you want to have height in your displays. And I know you hear that on every craft show video that you see, but it is definitely really important. You want to bring your items to eye level. Customers don't want to come to a craft show and see a table with everything just laid out flat. People don't want to have to be like, oh yes, that is a very nice beanie. Or, oh yeah, those headbands, they look so cool down there. You want to bring things up to them so that they don't have to work as hard to see your stuff. Because then, if they see it from farther away, because they're like, oh, this thing is at my level, I see it over there, that looks so cool, let's go check it out. And then, they will be brought to your booth, they'll see the cool stuff, and then they'll look around even more at things that might not be exactly eye level. Some of these tips are things that myself and my mother have learned in business school. And one of those things is that brands will pay you extra so that they can have their display at eye level. So when you're at the store, you might see that, hey, the Life cereal is right in front of me, and now I want the Life cereal instead of like the Chex that is down 2 rows on the shelf. Tip number 3, your pricings and your socials should be known. People should not have to come up to you and be like, hey, how much is this thing? What is this? How much is it? Where can I find you after this craft show? They should be able to look at a sign and know this information already, or be able to look at a price tag or something and just say, oh yes, this headband is like $15. Speaking as somebody who has social anxiety, please, in your booth, don't make interaction a necessity. You'll still have those people who come up and are like asking you about each little thing that you have and being like, how much is this thing? Oh, how'd you make this? And that's a nice change of pace too. But definitely make it so that people don't have to do that, because not everybody likes to chit chat, and that's totally fine. You can give them a little spiel about, okay, this is my brand and this is what we're hoping to achieve, and then move on. Let them go at their pace. They will either continue talking to you or they'll see your signs, very important, and they will do what they need to do. If you respect how they want to interact with your booth, then they are more likely to come to your booth and to purchase from your booth. Tip number 4, your booth setting. You made all of these super cool things. They look awesome. Trust me, they do. I saw. It's so cool. But don't put it all out at once. I went to this booth before that had dresses hanging from every single part of their booth, just from their tent, and I was like, I don't feel like I can even step in here. It looks like I'm not allowed in. So yes, you made all these cool things, but you have under your table to keep storage. You can put things down there and you can place stuff out as you need to replace it. You want your customers to feel welcome in your booth. So if you overstuff your booth, people aren't going to feel like they can walk in. They're going to feel kind of cramped. They're going to get kind of a vibe from it. So you want to make sure that you don't have too much out that people are like, okay, I feel claustrophobic walking in here. You also don't want to have all of your space covered so that if just one person walks into your booth, nobody else is going to fit in there. Personally, when I go to a craft show, if there are too many people in a booth already, I just kind of step aside and I wait at a different booth. Like, I'll check out someone else and then I'll try to go back to them later. But if your booth only holds maybe 1 or 2 people at a time, it just makes that a lot harder. Some alternatives to having everything set out, like say that you have 5 different colors of this headband. You could have out a display headband and then say, oh, we also have it in these different colors. Ask me if you want to see them. And then you can show people that color, or alternatively, if you think that's going to cause too many people coming to you and asking to see those things, you can try to put out something like a catalog that just has different pictures of the color yarns that you have so people can see it. And if a catalog isn't really your style, you could have one example headband and then maybe have different little swatches of the other colors by it and say also available in these colors. Finally, we are on to tip number 5. Signage can make or break you. And I'm not talking about the socials, I'm not talking about the pricing, I am talking about you and your brand. I was very surprised at this one craft show I went to. I saw maybe 2 brands that I remembered the name of simply because they had up signs, like a banner or a table runner that said what their brand was. So I remembered those 2 because I saw their signs. Your brand should be your star, because that's what you're working on, right? You're working on your brand, working on your craft. You want everybody to know, hey, it's me, Insomnia Snail, here at a craft show. You don't want them to be like, I went into this place and I really liked what they have, but I lost their business card and I can't remember what their name was. Well, oh well. You want people to walk into your booth. You want them to remember you. You want them to feel welcomed, and you want them to remember your brand the most. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you found these tips helpful. If you want more tips in the future and to see that follow-up video that is going to be coming with my tips as a vendor finally, then make sure that you hit the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. It'll help boost these videos so that I can keep doing them. Until next time, remember to go at your own pace, even if that's a snail's pace. Bye!